Hi, welcome back to Raising Rogers. Today we're going to cover one of my favorite series. It's going to be the Tales That Tell the Truth series from the Good Book Company. This book is called Jesus and the Lion's Den. It's written by Alison and illustrated by Catalina Echeverri. Again, every one of these books in this series are illustrated by the same woman, and so they all look really cohesive on your shelf, and they all just go together very, very well. So this book is about Jesus and the Lion's Den, not Daniel and the Lion's Den. So we're introduced to the story of Daniel and how Daniel works for King Darius. And Daniel has a pretty cool habit. He prays to God every day. And in the book, it says Daniel works for Darius, but the other people who worked for King Darius didn't like Daniel, and they didn't like the God he prayed to. So they got Daniel into trouble with the king. His enemies had Darius make a new law that no one could pray to anybody except the king for 30 days, or they would be thrown into a den full of huge, hungry lions. So Daniel had a decision to make. Was he going to be safe, or was he going to be lion food? And the story says, what do you think Daniel did? Of course, Daniel prayed. And his enemies were watching very closely because they knew he would continue to pray to God. So they caught him in his disobedience to the king. Daniel was about to become lion food. King Darius tries and tries all day to find a way to save Daniel, but he couldn't. He couldn't even change his own law. So, sure enough, Darius's men take Daniel and they throw him into the den full of huge, hungry lions. And my little boy loves to say this part at the bottom. You can see the den of lions and it says, roar, and they throw him in. So King Darius tosses and turns all night long. He comes the next morning, and what does he find Daniel? He finds him in the den of lions, but he finds him safe. He says, "Are you okay, Daniel?" And Daniel replies, "Yes, O king, I'm not hurt. God sent his angels to shut the lion's mouth. God saved me because I had done nothing wrong." So they lift Daniel out of the pit, and Daniel is safe, and King Darius reverses the law, proclaiming that Daniel's God is the living God, and everyone should pray to him now and forever. So then the book says, the end. Oh, no, it's not the end at all. This is the part of the book where it does a little shift. I love this part of the book so much. It says each Jesus moment in this story is when Daniel is a little bit like Jesus. So back in the story, you can look for these special lines, and it shows us when Daniel is a little bit like Jesus. So then we get these really fun comparison pages. It says Daniel's enemies wanted to get rid of him, so they tried to get him into trouble. That's what Jesus' enemies did to him too. But in his job, Daniel had done nothing wrong, nothing. He even had to invent a new law to get Daniel into trouble. In his whole life, Jesus had done nothing wrong either. So his enemies had to tell lies about him to get him into trouble. When Daniel heard about his enemy's plan, he knew he was going to be arrested and thrown to the lions, and so he prayed. And when Jesus knew he was going to be arrested, he prayed too. So the questions they're asked at the end to the kids, it says, did Daniel die in the den of lions? No, they were very hungry, and Daniel was going to be lion food, but God saved him. And then it says, did Jesus die on the cross? Yes, Jesus really did die on the cross, but God brought his own son out of death. And do you know something amazing? God promises to bring all of his son's friends out of death and into life with him too. Can God really do that? Yes, he can. He's done it before. Also, in all of the Tales That Tell the Truth books, there is this parent page that kind of helps explain about the real story in the Bible and how we can talk about that with our kids. I love these parent pages, and it also gives scripture references as well so that you can refer back to those. Again, this is Jesus in the Lion's Den. It's one of our favorite in the series because of the comparisons that it makes to the life of Jesus. Again, written by Alison, Tales That Tell the Truth, published by the Good Book Company. So definitely add this one to your little one's library. Until next time.